Hi! Sorry. I was looking over there for my coffee, and you know how it goes. It's Slater House Crafts. I'm Jen. That's how it goes. Good morning. Welcome to Vlogoween number 5. Number 5 already. So sad. October's going so fast. It's driving me mad. Anyway, yes. So today we have 4 movies and 1 TV program from 1965, I think, 66, to talk about. I also have a half-finished object, and that's my washer. If you hear banging, that's my washer. And we have some cross-stitch to show. However, I just want to say there was more cross-stitch than I'm going to show you, except I had a boo-boo. I had another miscount, and I had to tear out basically 2/3 of what I'd done. Yeah, so not a happy bunny, but that kind of stuff happens, so. Anyway, also I have some sweater work to show you. Helen Duffin. And yeah, so I guess give me a thumbs up if you like this, a thumbs down if you don't, subscribe. What else are you supposed to say? Oh, I do want to say, first of all, that Pixie has a new vlog up on her channel, and I'll link it below. Also, which is really good. There's a load of cross stitch in that. I don't know how she keeps it all straight. I just don't know. And the Buzzfeed has loaded the first episode of this season's Unsolved. It's about the 3 men in, I think it was Ireland, who were lighthouse keepers, and they all disappeared, and nobody knows how they disappeared or why they disappeared. And it was really good, and we watched it on I think it was Saturday morning. It was really good. Yeah, so what did we do this weekend? Nobody did anything this weekend. It was the best weekend we've had since we moved into this house, actually. Yeah, there was just laziness and video game playing and knitting and cross-stitching and watching of films. Anyway, let's get going here. The first thing I'm going to show is the mitten, Pixie Jewel. It got a thumb this weekend, so the mitten has its thumb now. So it's going to be really hard to show this because the lighting is so forking bad right now. Let me see if I shut this off, if it makes it any better. It might, who knows. It's starting to get light out. Anyway, that's the thumb. No, it's not really any better. Not better. Sorry, everybody. Anyway, I'm super pleased with that. This is the scary pumpkin mitt pattern. I can't ever enunciate that lady's name, so I'm just going to put it below because I'm not making an effort. But yeah, really good pattern, easy to follow. Yeah. If you're going to do fingerless gloves and you want to do some color work, this is fairly easy. Charts all the way, and I only do charts. I don't like written instructions. Charts are super cool. So there we go. The next thing I'm going to show is my cross stitch, the Tiny Modernist Halloween Ouija Sal 2020. Right, this is a wah, wah, wah. So I had all the fence done. I'd started on here on the whites, and guess what happened? On the 4th fence rail, I had been going just as usual, being stupid and silly. I had been going down 2 on every one, but this one you only went down 1, not 2 from the bottom. So each of these rails steps down 2 squares in the 8 cloth, and I went down 2 here, and it was only supposed to be 1, and I had to tear it all out yesterday. That was depressing. Yeah, depressing. So anyway, so we're gonna get back on it today. Oops, see? I've still got a little thready, terry-outy thread from it. But I have made some progress since I last saw you guys, so yeah, there we are. It's coming. That'll be done today. Oh, Pixie, the back of your cross stitch, that's nothing, honey. Look at the back of mine. That, darling, is messy cross stitching. So I'm ashamed. Yes, there's shame. But it is what it is. I'd never proclaimed to be like Kim husband, because she's She's probably, the back of her cross stitch probably looks exactly like the front. Oh, God. And Helen Duffin, we all know what you do when you make a mistake. I'm not saying nothing else. Anything else. Anyway, yeah, so that's that. The next thing I have to show you. Okay, Duffers. Excuse my French. But, look, Duffers, I finished the sleeve. So it looks good on. I'm not going to put it on until I get the second sleeve done, but I've already, there was no, there's no procrastination. I just went right as soon as I got it done and put the sleeves for the next, put the stitches for the next sleeve on, and I am knitting that up. So this is the Sunday cardigan by PetiteKnit, and I've been working on it for, I don't know, 42 years now. No, I don't know. Been working on it for a while, but I don't care because it's nearly done. So there you go. My decreases weren't done correctly on the first sleeve because, well, to be honest with you, I forgot about all of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do them right on the second sleeve because I don't really care because it's just for around the house and nobody will notice anyway. But I'm going to do the decreases in the sleeves gradually, like I should have done in the first place instead of waiting till the last 20 rows. So yeah, so that's all the crafting. There was no sewing. So let's talk about Halloween 4 and 5. Halloween 4 kicks off. Michael's being moved from the asylum where Dr. Loomis, who's played by Donald Pleasance, works, and he escapes out of the ambulance that he's being transferred in by killing the ambulance attendants and ditching it. And he heads back to Haddonfield. Dr. Loomis knows, obviously, that he's escaped because this other doctor who runs the asylum gets a call while Dr. Loomis is there. And Dr. Loomis says, oh my God. So Dr. Loomis starts to make his way back to Haddonfield, but he stops at a garage to put petrol in and gasoline in. And Michael is there. And he's already killed everybody in the gas station, and he's changing clothes, and he's stealing a truck. And so the whole thing ensues. I won't give you the details because it is pretty scary. There's some jump scares in this. And Michael ends up driving. That's my husband again. Hi, I'm back. So the gas station blows up. Dr. Loomis is still there, but when the gas station blows up, it blows all the phone lines and everything. You know, it's a complete setup, basically. Michael Myers goes to Haddonfield. His niece, Jamie, she's just a little girl. Her mom, Laurie Strode, who in the main films is played by Jamie Lee Curtis, and her husband have been killed in an accident. And so Jamie is living with a family, like a foster family. And her foster sister, Rachel, who is 18, it says, I'll take you out for trick-or-treating. Sorry, husband again. So Rachel takes her out for trick-or-treating. The whole time Michael's wandering around Haddonfield, and Dr. Loomis and the sheriff are wandering around looking for Michael Myers. I'm sorry, I keep hearing Blossom shifting, and I just wonder what she's doing. Anyway, they're looking for him. He's looking for Jamie. Jamie gets separated from Rachel while they're trick-or-treating because Rachel's boyfriend opens the door to a house that he doesn't belong in, and there's a girl half naked behind him, and, you know, teenage angst. Anyway, so while she's yelling at her boyfriend, Jamie goes with these other kids to the next house. Rachel's not following her, so they get separated. Michael, in the meantime, has found them and is chasing Jamie, and it comes very close, right, to Michael catching them. And luckily, the police officer shows up and with Dr. Loomis and says, get in the car. And they get in the car and they take her to the sheriff's house. And then the whole thing kicks off. Michael's already there. He's gotten a ride in the back of another sheriff's car to where they are. So stuff happens, and it's pretty scary. And Danielle Harris plays Jamie, and she was really good for a kid in this film. She was all right. She was a good actress. She's probably, other than Donald Pleasance, and the sheriff was really good too. She was the best actress in the film. Yeah, there was some pretty piss poor acting in this one. I'll leap forward to Halloween 5, and it's a year later. Rachel's still there. Her parents have gone off to the country for Halloween because they don't want to be in town for Halloween. Jamie has been, because of the ending of 4, which I'm not going to tell you, she is now in a care home for children because she can't speak anymore. She's unable to make words. And she's scared all the time. And she's got this kind of mental link with Michael, so she can kind of see where he is and what he's doing at times. And so anyways, Rachel's supposed to meet her parents in the country, and she goes to visit Jamie the day before Halloween with her friend Tina to give Jamie her costume. And she said, Jamie, I'll be back in a couple of days, da 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 da. Rachel then leaves, goes home. Michael is at her house. She doesn't know it, but the dog's barking. So Jamie sees all of this in her head, and she tries to tell somebody, and she ends up getting through to Dr. Loomis is at this children's hospital because he knows there's a connection, and he just wants to find Michael so he can either lock him up or kill him. And so Jamie sees this. They call the house. Rachel's already told the dog to shut up, Max, shut up 50 times. So Dr. Loomis calls, and he says, are you okay? And she said, yes, I'm fine. He said, is Max okay? Da 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 da. A whole conversation happens. She runs downstairs. The back door is open. Dr. Loomis, she gets back on the phone. She's like, Dr. Loomis, Max is gone. And he's like, get out of the house now. She goes out of the house. Michael follows her out of the house, but you don't see that. She goes to next door neighbor. Next door neighbor calls the police. Mind you, this is all, she's in a towel, wrapped in a towel, so it's all for teenage boys, really. And 2 cops show up who aren't very bright. They walk through the house. They say nobody's in the house. She's like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. The dog comes running back up the street, and she goes back in the house, and guess what? Mike's back in the house. And guess what? Not nice. Not nice at all. Jamie kind of knows that this has happened, this is going on, and she's freaking out. And then it turns to Halloween. The next day, more people die that are sort of associated with Jamie. Michael shows up outside the children's home. She sees him. She starts to run, and she was running to the basement, and he's chasing her. He's chasing her, but he's not. Halloween night, they have a pageant at the children's home. Rachel's friend Tina comes to visit her to say, and she's like, Rachel, don't go to the party. You know, don't go. Kind of like, you know, sign language, stay here. Tina explains she's got to go because of her boyfriend. So bad shit happens at that party. Yeah. Ends up, Jamie can, because of all of the angst, Jamie learns to speak again, and Michael chases her again. She and Dr. Loomis end up at the old Myers house, and which isn't the old Myers house, by the way. I take some issue with that because that really pissed me off in these films. They didn't use the same Myers house, and really, come on, guys, seriously. Anyway, yeah, and all of it goes down at the Myers house. What am I going to give Halloween 4 and 5? I'm going to give them 4 stars each. Actually, or stars. Why did I say stars? It's bats. Bats. So yeah, that's that. So the next film is Hell House 2. I don't know why I'm smiling, other than I love these films. They scare the shit out of me. They are creepy. Ian said stuff again. Yeah. So Hell House 2, very briefly, because I don't want to give any of these away too much. And I mean briefly, like you're going to get maybe 2 minutes and that's it. This investigative reporter from the internet, so she started her own company, and she's managed to put a senator in jail for embezzlement. She gets this letter from inside Hell House, and she decides to do an investigation because she's been told that the local government's covering something up. She gets Brock Davies, who is a psychic, to go, and the cameraman from Sarah, who was the last reporter to go into the house who disappeared. Her cameraman, who happened to be her boyfriend as well. He's the one that went through all the tapes at the end of Hell House 1 and saw what actually happened in there. So Brock Davies, this guy, and I can't remember his name, so forgive me. Shit, I can't remember his name. I can't think of his name. Anyway, and this other gentleman who is supposedly on the board of Abaddon, go, and they're on, it's called Mystery Morning. It's a local television program, and they go on it, and there's this whole thing where Brock Davies and him are actually kind of trying to attack this board member, saying, you covered stuff up, you said there was an incident, but you've never actually told us what it was, you know, da-da-da-da-da. So this gentleman that they're attacking is very important to the story, and especially the last 15 minutes of this story. So this girl decides she's going. She talks to Brock Davies. He takes his own cameraman and goes. But she talks this film tech guy who says, I'm never going into that place. There's no way I'm ever going into that place. She talks him into going. They go to Hell House and things happen. And I'm not going to tell you what happens. I'm not even going to give you an inkling of what goes on inside that hotel, because that will spoil the whole thing for you. Needless to say, Hell House is getting a 5 bats from me, for total real. 5 bats again. I love these friggin' movies. Like I said, I think it was last time, I would give it 1,000,000 bats if I could, because they're so friggin' scary. Watch these movies. There's a trilogy. Okay, the next film we're going to talk about is The Conjuring. It is about a house that's been possessed by a witch. This is supposed to be a true life story. It's Ed and Lorraine Warren were sort of, not ghost hunters. They were demonologists, maybe? I think they would probably call themselves demonologists. They had a talk at a university. And the woman who lived in the house with her husband and her 5 daughters showed up at this. And their tech guy introduced her to them out in the parking lot, and she explained what was going on in her house, and they're like, you know, it's probably Pipe's new house, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, you don't understand. These are the things that are happening. So they agree to go and try to help them, because Lorraine obviously has a heart as big as freaking Manhattan. And they go, and Lorraine realizes from the minute she walks through the door that there's some bad shit going on in this house. This house has jump scares and is, for me, emotionally frightening, because if it is true that this can happen to people, or if this does happen to people, that is making me look over my shoulder from the monitor. That's pretty bad. It was pretty horrifying. Daughter dragged across the floor by her hair by something you couldn't see, and you could actually see her hair. Mom got possessed by this witch in the end, and she tried to kill her own daughter. It's pretty bad. So I don't have any pictures of the actual Conjuring house. Maybe I'll find some online and put them up here somewhere. But yeah, The Conjuring, I would give 4 stars to. Not because of Ed and Lorraine Warren or the people who played them, but because the film kind of, I don't know, it like hiccuped in spots. And the last thing that I'm going to talk about, now that I'm done cutting myself off in weird ways, is it's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. I mean, who doesn't fucking love Linus? Oh my god. Who doesn't love Sally? Who loves Linus? You know, who doesn't love Lucy? Who pulls footballs out from under Charlie Brown? Who doesn't love that? Oh, I love this. It's so nice, and it takes me back to my, not only my own childhood, but my kids' childhood, and it's just really nice. It's just really nice. So, yeah, that's, I don't know, Charlie Brown goes trick-or-treating. Linus sits in the pumpkin patch waiting for the Great Pumpkin, which is his Halloween version of Santa Claus. And, you know, you gotta be nice, because, you know, Santa won't come to your house if you're not cool. And either will the Great Pumpkin come to your patch. It's not cool. Snoopy has a whole flying ace thing. He pretends to be a World War II pilot, and he has a dog fight with the Red Baron, and it's all very exciting. In the end, Linus gets cold. Lucy brings him in the house. Hello, November. Anyway, that's Charlie Brown. Definitely 5 stars. Definitely. Yeah. So that's what I watched over the last few days, amongst my mistakes and cross-stitching. This week is going to be a very busy week for me. Hopefully I'll have the sweater done by the end of the week. But at least by Halloween. I don't think there's going to be any trick-or-treating in my neighborhood, which makes me super sad. But there you go. So I'm not going to make my Halloween bags up. I'm going to have to put a sign on the door that says no trick-or-treating because of Ian's lack of an immune system. Yeah. This blows. But there you go. Anyway, yeah. I'm going to go. I have to edit this, which usually takes me about 3 hours. No shit, it does. 3 hours. And, yeah, I guess I'll talk to you guys on Friday. Really excited about Friday because I know what I'm watching this week, and yeah, it's a surprise. Anyway, right, you take care of yourselves. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you have a super duper week, and stay scared stiff. Bye.